Oh, hey there, guys. How's it going? Akeem here, and I wanted to jump on this video to tell you guys something. For about 2 years now, I've been making these Ed, Edd, and Eddy music videos, these songs that have really meant something to me. Me continuing the story of the Ed Boys, and I never really explained to you guys what is going on so far. And I know a lot of people have questioned, what's going on, who got shot, what happened to this person, why is there a rift between the Ed boys? Well, you know what? I decided this will be the video where I'll explain it all to you guys. You guys can take it or leave it, and I'll let you guys know this right now. There's more to the story, and more to the story will be made for you guys to consume. But I also wanted to jump on this live stream here and kind of tell you guys a little bit about what's going to happen moving forward with the Ed, and Eddy rap music videos and the Samurai Jack rap music videos. Obviously, this video is going to focus more so on the Ed Boys, but I wanted to let you guys know something in advance before I jump right into it for you viewers. Well, so it appears as though YouTube has decided to finally give me a membership button on this YouTube channel. We have qualified and they have decided to give it to us. So I have been given like a new sense of I don't know. I've just been given like new life as it pertains to motivation, I guess you could say, motivation to telling the stories of the Ed Boys. And as such, I wanted to make this video and make you all aware of the membership button. And so moving forward, we will have a membership goal that we hopefully will hit. Because what I want to do is I want to make these Ed, Edd, and Eddy songs monthly or bi-monthly, something that happens every other month, including the Samurai Jack songs and the other Cartoon Network rap songs that I have, stories that I really want to tell you guys. But in order for this to happen, it will need to be funded by the members of this YouTube channel. So that's the reason why I wanted to make this video and to make you guys aware of the membership button, which you should currently see on the channel. So I wanted to make you guys aware of this because moving forward, the cartoon rap songs that you see on this channel will be fully funded by the members of this channel. That is the only way I'll be able to sustain making these rap songs. I've said this numerous times before in the past that these beats, I know you guys think they're fire. They are some fire beats, but they're not free. These aren't free beats that we're using. Technically, they are not free. We also have a sound designer, also have someone that helps me mix it just to make it so that it sounds good. Also have an illustrator to make the images that you see. Like, you see these awesome images? Like, yeah, these people need to get paid. And in order for this to happen, we need money. I mean, that's the thing. That's just how it works in this world. No one can work for free. And, before, mostly this was all being fully funded by myself. But given the current state of the world, I don't know what has happened with the YouTube algorithm, but, things just have been on a decline here on the channel. And so I can't fund all this on my own. And so I'm looking at you guys, the devoted viewers, the committed viewers, the people that actually care about these stories, who care about the Ed Boys and want to know what's gonna happen to the Ed Boys and Samurai Jack and Johnny Bravo and the future stories that I have. You guys are the ones. I'm depending on you guys, those of you who really care about these characters and want to see them progress. I'm talking to you, the Ed heads. the Jack Packs, the Team Akeems. These are the names of the memberships that you can actually take part in, and of course each level has their own exclusive perks for you to actually take part in. You know, they're from me doing exclusive songs, rap songs just for you in character, to a private Discord that I am currently setting up right now for members, and exclusive members only live streams. That's right, guys, exclusive members only live streams. That's right. Moving forward, guys, the live streams are going to be exclusively for members. So we got a lot planned, so I really wanted to just, get that out of the way and let you guys know that membership is coming to this channel, and I'm really looking forward to you all joining so that we can continue these rap songs. I really want to continue them, but again, I cannot continue them without the support of you awesome viewers. So hopefully you will support your boy, and we can continue these stories into the near future. Onward. Now, on to the explanation of the Ed Boys. Well, the Ed Boys, guys, you guys know the end of the Big Picture show. It ended with a rift between Double D and Eddy. They're all Eds, but I call him that. I call him Ed because I'm really familiar with the character, but Eddy, specifically Eddy and Double D, there was a rift between those two. They made up at the end of that episode of that movie. But this particular story that I'm weaving, the story that I'm telling, it's a what if. What if they didn't make up at the end of that? What if it took some time, some years have gone by? Some years had to go by in order for them to make up. And then something tragic occurred that brought them back together to the cul-de-sac. This is a what if story. And in order to tell that story, well, you got to start somewhere, guys. Let's start at the beginning. And in the beginning, there was Plank. There was an inanimate object that existed in the cul-de-sac for a very long time that saw all these antics taking place. And this brings us to the story of Plank. One of my favorite songs that I created. Now this one, goes back. This one is a story told from the perspective of course, Johnny 2x4, the person who found Plank so long ago. And instead of me actually, explaining to you guys what happens, what I want to do is I also want to, I want to play the songs for you guys, and then, afterwards, we can talk about what they actually mean, what these songs mean. But the first song in this Ed saga is the story of Plank. This is where it all begins.
What's Johnny seeing this stuff anyway?
Well, Eddie, Johnny's need to communicate with an inanimate object is quite normal, sometimes stemming from a lack of self-confidence or social phobias.
What is he? Johnny's here! Do I get that cookie now?
Plank is my only friend that's ever been. A piece of wood that's constantly giving me split ends. I'm not lonely though, my one and only bro. An inanimate object that will never stop and then go. See, don't you know the story about how he came in my life? Raising myself, I had to deal with a lot of strife. Single parent home, but I was left alone. Papa 2x4 raised me in the biodome. Called it the cul-de-sac, that shit was whack. Picked on and made fun of, cause I was black. Found out the homie Jimmy was selling crack. Had sex release, she a nymphomaniac panic attack. Cause I don't know what I'm gonna do. Cause I can't tell my parents what I'm going through. See who gon' talk to me, out of necessity. The only smart person in cul-de-sac is Double D. I dropped to my knees and I found a piece of wood. Somehow I knew it would do me some good. Drew a face on it and took it back to the hood. Mess with me, no way, homie, I don't think you should. Yo, and that's life. Yo, yeah, that's my life. It's my history, the rest a mystery. The rest news to me. Yeah, that's my life. Yeah, that's my life. That's my life in the cul-de-sac with Johnny.
Man, I love that song. It's such a depressing song. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, when I listen to some of the music that I have made, it kind of it makes me get kind of emotional because these are real life emotions that I'm invoking into these songs through these characters, and I know some of these messages within these songs resonate with you guys. And the story of Johnny 2x4 is a real tragic one. If you know the progression of the story that I'm creating with him in this story, it's a real tragic story. This is a kid who was pretty much left alone. His parents were never really there, and he had absolutely no friends, to the point where he had to create a friend. He had to create a friend in Plank. But again, this is the animation world, so things aren't really what they seem. Plank isn't just an ordinary piece of wood. There's something special about Plank. There's something really special about Plank that it's not necessarily really explored in the show. And if you do remember some of the episodes of Ed, Edd, and Eddy, you might see Plank doing certain things and like doing things that an inanimate object wouldn't necessarily be able to do. So this would lead someone to believe that maybe Plank isn't necessarily an imaginary friend, or maybe he's more than just an inanimate object who someone thinks is just an imaginary friend. Maybe they are an imaginary friend in its essence, to its core. That is a possibility. Now from here, we move on to the Big Picture Show and what takes place in the Big Picture Show. Now, this is where we see the rift, the friendship rift. And I created a song that takes place right in the middle of this called Single D. This is the What If. This is the song that actually takes place towards the end of the Big Picture Show, where you see Eddy and Double D fighting each other. And so everything that happened within that movie led up to this moment and this song.
It is time for you to realize, Eddy boy. What? You're not the boss of everyone. I know. That is why Double D is no longer here. Who cares? Yeah.
Ever since Double D left, he's never coming through.
Ed boy.
Ever since Double D left you, he's never coming through. Ever since Double D left, he's never coming through.
Ed boy.
Ever since Double D left you, he's never coming through. Ever since Double D left, he's never coming through. Ever since Double D left you, he's never coming through. Ever since Double D left, he's never coming through. Ever since Double D left you, he's never coming through. I figured I'd back up and maybe just stack up myself cause I'm fed up. I'm calling a fence, but that airport just messed up, so Eddy should give up cause Eddy's a lame fuck.
Double D, you should come back. And these plants, they are not wet. Double D, you should come back. And these plants, they are not wet.
Yo, I just stole a jawbreaker, but the friendship between us is faker. If I had a girlfriend, it's a canker, cause Double D is a fucking stanker. Yo, I don't know where all the love went, or all the motherfucking money that we made spent. Had to leave the cul-de-sac and not afford rent. Double D at best so he can go and get bent. Yeah, so don't be asking me if I care about Double D. That bastard, he abandoned me and left me with a single D.
Well, D, you should come back. And these plants, they are not wet. I just want some on their toes. Drive the bitch around the coast. Kangaroo girls, they are not dogs. Plank is a fucking robot.
right after this, there is something strange that kind of happened within the cul-de-sac. Something very strange. Something that some might actually think it was something that happened in an alternate universe. And there is a bit of a multiverse when it comes to Cartoon Network and the Cartoon Network characters, CN City. Some of you might remember CN City. There is something that happened to a particular character. A particular character by the name of Kevin. Or did it happen? See, at this particular point, there was a character. They're still kids at this time. During this time, the Ed boys and everyone and all the other kids in the cul-de-sac are still kids. Even after Single D, they're still kids at this point, even though there's a bit of a rift between Double D and Eddy. But what about our boy Ed? Something's not right with him. And after this moment, after the moment within Single D, something was a little bit off with Ed. Now, although, yes, we've always thought Ed was off to a certain extent. He's always been a little bit off. But something in particular was really off with him here. And it's because he was off his meds. That's right. Our boy Ed was off his meds. And the reason he was off his meds is because he couldn't find a supplier. Now, probably wondering, what does that mean? He couldn't find his supplier. Wouldn't his supplier be, I don't know, a doctor? Like, wouldn't that be his supplier? You would think so. But you also got to keep in mind, there's absolutely no adults in the cul-de-sac. So, if there's no adults in the cul-de-sac, who do you depend upon for drugs? For medication that you need? Well, I mean, there's always Jimmy. And Jimmy was one of those kids that he saw that there was a need for these types of things in the cul-de-sac. And what do? Well, Jimmy just raided his bathroom and stole his parents' prescription drugs. But it got kind of complicated with Jimmy. But we're not gonna get to Jimmy right now. This isn't Jimmy's story. This is the Ed Boys story. So this leads us to our next song, guys. And that is I Love Buttered Toast, which is a song about Ed pretty much off his meds. And the lines between reality and what's fictional, a little bit blurred. What happened to Kevin? Is Kevin still with us? Is he dead? Did he eat him? Is Ed some sort of a cannibal? I don't know. Again, this could just be a guy who's just completely off his meds. But I'll let you guys decide. Here's the song.
Oh, Ed the boy, it appears as though Kevin is missing.
What are you looking at me for? I didn't do anything. Oh, what a nightmare. Oh, Ed, what did you do?
I ate his buttered toast!
Yo, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, Betty. It's almost time for school. It's time for you to get ready for bed. What happened to your hand? The meds you took is making you crazier than that Ed. Remember that one time we solved that dude, Kevin? He gave us a Washington, then went to heaven. He dead. No, didn't know he dead. Oh yeah, that story by me, Canyon. I swear it's canon. We chopped up the body and dumped it inside bowls of gravy. They packed up the trunks and then mailed it to the Navy. He gone. I can't believe he gone. What's wrong? The story is just a fabrication to make this song. You don't think I can kill against my will? I'm too chill like a bill when I'm on pills. But Ed, don't be taking them. He's faking them. They bodies, he be shaking them and eating them.
I love buttered toast! I love buttered toast! Thank you! I love buttered toast! I love buttered toast! Thank you!
I'm on a diet, and I might riot, and I will tell you should try it, and maybe buy it. This gravy tastes just like a pilot, just take a bite it. The taste of flesh, you cannot fight it, once you try it.
So it turns out that Ed's a flipping cannibal. He went from eating plants like a botanical. The way he slays his victims is tyrannical. He got precision aim like it's infallible. All this time, y'all thought he was saying butter toast. Turns out he was eating human parts but the toes. This fool ain't gonna need a big slab of feet. He'll treat himself to a head of meat.
And now, this brings us to our next song. One that kind of changed the paradigm. One that kind of like altered and reshaped the reality of the Ed Boys. And aptly titled Ed Boy, this particular song. This is where Eddy is kind of, he's now at this time they're in their early 20s at this particular time, so, or 19 going on 20 at this particular point. And Eddy, his schemes have really evolved, and since the fallout that he had back when they were younger in the Big Picture show with Double D, he had room for a third guy to come into the picture, and that third guy was Rolf. That's right, guys. This is where Rolf makes his first appearance within this story that I've been telling. This is where Rolf makes his first appearance in the Ed Boy song, and he's trying to convince Eddy. Because Eddy he's hell-bent upon getting money. He needs money to get more jawbreakers. And he's thinking he has to break the law in order to get what he wants, in order to get what it is that he needs. Because what job is he going to get? What job is any of these kids in the cul-de-sac going to have? Well, unfortunately, tragedy struck. And, I'll just play the song for you guys.
Oh, Ed boy.
What?
You have a good life, but you don't know how to use it.
What do you mean?
I will show you my ways, Ed boy.
Okay, whatever.
Ed boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way? Ed boy, 'cause you are better than the son of a shepherd. Ed boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way? Ed boy, 'cause you are better than the son of a shepherd. Ed boy.
Woo! I'm staying conscious when I'm not cautious. Double D's nauseous, staring at Nas 'cause he thinks that she's gorgeous. Thinking about money just might rob a bank. I don't get wood in my pants, I get plank. This ain't no robbery, it's just a prank. Coming up with these ideas, what you think? All I want are jawbreakers, give me 40 acres if you wanna hang around. I think I might buy a pound. If you're thinking maybe this Ed boy's acting real crazy, check out my big dummy homie Edward yelling Ravy.
Boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way? Ed boy, 'cause you are better than the son of a shepherd. Ed boy.
Jimmy, I hear what you're saying. You and Eddy need to start campaigning. Double D because he always complaining. Really because he is contemplating suicide. Taking the pills 'cause he wanna die. Making the cul-de-sac wanna cry. But why? Please try. Because we can stand on our
Ed
lies.
boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way? Ed boy, 'cause you are better than the son of a shepherd. Ed boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way? Ed boy, 'cause you are better than the son of a shepherd. Ed boy.
Thought about calling you, thought about calling you, thought about
We gotta get out of here.
Ed boy, what did you do? This is not the way of a son of a shepherd.
Fuck your shepherd, man. We gotta
Ed
go.
boy, you Looney Tune.
Wait till Ed and Double D find out about this.
And this is where we finally find ourselves with the song that pretty much, I guess, set the internet on fire about a couple of years ago. Where Did All the Love Go? This is where this song comes into the storyline. No. Now, I don't think I really need to summarize what this song's all about or to give you guys a perspective. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. And you guys have probably heard this more times than, I don't know. You probably heard it more times than you're willing to even admit. So I'd rather just let you guys listen to Where Did All the Love Go and knowing the songs that have come before this song. This titular song is what I would say. This song that really pretty much just set this all in motion for you viewers. This is where this song comes into place. And I'll just let you guys listen to it. And knowing what you know, what has come before. Here is Where Did All the Love Go?
I'm returning home.
But we can't go home, Double D!
I'd rather face my consequences, Ed, than wander aimlessly with a so-called friend.
Say it ain't so!
Where did all the love go? Yeah.
Eddy boy!
Where did all the ends go? Yeah.
Eddy boy!
Left it in the bin, so yeah. And all the things we don't own, yeah.
Left it in the cul-de-sac,
Oh, Ed boy!
and now we're never going back. Cause heaven always talking smack,
On their toes.
and Johnny still keeps smoking crack. Look at my friends, to the end, I thought I'd never lose them. But Ed and Ed keep spazzing over Naz, and now I'm choosing between two friends. Man, we always work together, making the money, getting honeys, chewing jawbreakers. But now, things really stink. Double D hasn't moved like that man we call Blank. And Ed's not smart, always ask him if he's ready. He turns to fart, screaming,
I don't know, Eddie.
That's improbable. The plans you're making is impossible. Cause cash is nominal. You risked it all, and that's illogical. I can't understand how you can think that you're the man. Because of you, Eddie, our plans are sinking in quicksand. So I'm saying, man, our friendship must stand. I pack it up in the bins and driving off to start a new beginning.
Want to know where the love is, baby? It's in the big bowl full of gravy.
Where did all the love go? Yeah. Where did all the ends go? Yeah. Left it in the bin, so yeah. And all the things we don't own, yeah. Where did all the love go? Yeah. Where did all the ends go? Yeah. Left it in the bin, so yeah. And all the things we don't own, yeah. Where did all the love go? 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 Yeah.
On their toes. On their toes.
So after Where Did All the Love Go, a lot has happened in the cul-de-sac at this particular point in time. The rift is over. It's done. Their friendship is gone. It has been shattered. There's no going back now. This is the second time something like this has happened. Once when they were younger, and again when they got older. Something very, very tragic has occurred. And Double D is done with it. Double D is done with every single thing that Eddie has put him through. And now he's an accomplice now. And he doesn't want to be an accomplice to anything that Eddie has going on. And so in order for him to escape the consequences of Eddie's actions, because Eddie only cares about himself at this particular point in time. In order to escape what he has set forth, he's got to get out of the cul-de-sac. And he's going to figure out a way to do that. And he's ready to leave. And you can't really blame Double D for wanting to leave. And he lets everyone know in the cul-de-sac that he's leaving. He lets everyone know. And this leads us to Ed. Ed he doesn't want the friendship to to go away. He wants everyone to remain the way they were when they were younger, before that pivotal moment in the Big Picture Show movie. So this is where Ed finally decides, you know what? I need to express how I feel about everything that's about to occur and everything that has occurred. And this is where the song Back to the Cul-de-Sac shows up within this timeline. I'll let you guys listen.
Double D is still coming back.
Yes?
He's coming back to the cul-de-sac.
What for?
Everything Eddy said was whack.
Hey, watch it,
'Cause
bud.
Double D is still coming back. Double D is still coming back. He's coming back to the cul-de-sac. Yeah, everything Eddy said was whack.
Oh.
'Cause Double D is still coming back.
Ed boy, it might sound facetious if I left all of the pieces like a thesis paper that I wrote while praying to white Jesus. Please release us from these binds created out of our minds so that we can find the time to finally just unwind. Ed boy, I've been following Eddy ever since I was a baby, but the thing about that brother is he's really not that steady. But I think I found another one, a man who is a brother, one who won't switch up the plan, bringing our friendship to an end.
Double D is still coming back. He's coming back to the cul-de-sac. Yeah, everything Eddy said was whack. 'Cause Double D is still coming back. Double D found another Ed. An Ed whose name doesn't rhyme with Fred. I'm sure this Ed has a different head, but I am sure that his name is Ed.
Ed boy, well I don't know. Ed boy, do you think that Eddy's ready to make a decision? Maybe I might have to give him rabies.
Hold up, Rolf. You're not coming near me with that. Everything you're doing is because Double D is a brat.
Can you see what I'm going through? 'Cause all of this is because of you. I'm taking Plank to go live with Blue. So it's time to bid you all adieu.
Wait a minute. Where the hell is he taking him?
I think he's taking him to go live in the Foster's home of imaginary friends.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me Plank is imaginary? I thought it was real.
Oh, Ed boy, you have a lot to learn.
Now, before Double D decides to leave, before he does actually leave the cul-de-sac, he made a promise a long time ago to one of the kids in the cul-de-sac that he was gonna take care of him, no matter what. And that was Johnny 2x4. Johnny 2x4 was going through some problems. We all know. We all saw it throughout numerous episodes. Him talking to himself, him talking to Plank. There was only one person in the cul-de-sac that actually cared, that had empathy for Johnny, and that was Double D. And he made him a promise, and he was going to stick to that promise, and he was going to make sure that Johnny got off the smack that was actually being sold to him, believe it or not, by Jimmy, which is just crazy. It's just crazy how he evolved into like a hardcore drug dealer in the cul-de-sac, which is just kind of crazy and absurd when you think about it. But he was going to take care of him, and he was going to take care of Plank. So he got Johnny 2x4 into a facility. But how do you get, not even how, but where do you take a piece of wood, an imaginary friend like Plank? Where do you take him? That's the question that I think a lot of us had. You know, what do you do with a piece of wood? What facility do you do you take a piece of wood to? Well, there's only one place in mind, and that's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. So the next song on this whole timeline is Johnny 2x4. I'll let you guys listen.
We're coming back to the homies. Always, always. We're coming back to the homies. Always, always.
go home to Foster's to visit Plank. To protect him, I had to help him, so I left him and gave Plank a better protector that could defend him. Double D, that man always believed in me. I'm hoping he made it out of that jail and is free. It's hard sometimes living and growing in the sack. That's why your boy Johnny is never going back. The Eddie ain't ready, what he did was a felony. I hope he remembers every single thing he did to me.
We're going back to the homie. Always, always, yeah. We're going back to the homie. Always, always. Oh, I'm so happy you're coming back. It's going to be great, Johnny.
What are we gonna do, man? Like, everyone seems to be having a good time without us.
I don't know, Ed boy. Maybe you shouldn't have shot that person. Can't believe this.
Now at this point, Double D's off. Double D's on the road. He's headed to Foster's home for imaginary friends to get Plank the help that he needs. To get Plank so that Plank is surrounded by others just like him. And this leads us to new adventure. It's a new adventure that Ed is headed on. And like I said before, he left the cul-de-sac with 3 people in mind. 3 people in his mind, 3 actual people that he really cared about, that he really wanted to take with him on this adventure. And that was, of course, Ed. Ed was just fed up. Ed was tired of this all too, believe it or not. And May. May was someone that Double D had really confided in during all of this. At the end of the Big Picture show, in this new timeline, Double D went to her, not necessarily on purpose, but she was there when he was explaining all of the things that have taken place. And throughout the years, she's always been she's been there to hear him out. And as they both matured, so did their feelings for one another. I know a lot of people, they think, wait a minute, May should be with Ed, but that's not, look, this is not how things work out. Pairings in real life do not work out that way. Just because someone says you're supposed to be with someone as a kid doesn't mean you're necessarily going to wind up with that person as an adult. And that rule applies to our animated characters. That's essentially what happened here. So I take you guys to new adventure.
Let these days we have gone our ways, cause I moved away, everything has changed. Cause the cul-de-sac was never a place for us to live at. Matter of fact, y'all never knew that bitch got attacked. And by Titan, that dude was fighting and steady fighting. Alright then, I guess I might then join it and fight then. Eddie was the homie, but he didn't really know me, so you know me, I had to pack my stuff up and leave. Here we go on another whirlwind adventure. Traveling with Plank, you know that he my wooden dentures. We driving from coast to coast. It's Double D, I'm the most. And Single D bringing all the butter toast.
So we're never going back home, Double D?
No, Ed. Going back home with Theological. We're going somewhere.
So now we're left with our buddy Eddy. Eddy's all by himself. He's on the road. He's with Rolf. They had to leave. Everyone had to leave the cul-de-sac. The Ed boys could not stay in the cul-de-sac. Things were too hot. in the cul-de-sac after what Eddy had done. So they all had to leave. Even though they didn't have, everyone else didn't have anything to do with it. Double D had nothing to do with what Eddy did. Rolf had nothing to do with what Eddy did. Neither did Ed. No one had. The only person culpable for what took place in the cul-de-sac, for that shooting, was Eddy. But everyone else, they would have been considered accomplices. And of course, Rolf, Ed, Double D, they're no snitches. They're not gonna snitch on Eddy. So what's the next best thing to do? Well, just get the heck out of town. It's a small town anyways. So get out of there. And that's what they all did. Unfortunately for Eddy and Rolf, they're not the most educated of individuals. So they had to pick up, odd jobs here and there. As a matter of fact, Eddy even worked at Freddy Fazbender. Is that the name of the place? I believe that is. He worked at 5 nights. He spent 5 whole nights at Freddy's. He survived 5 whole nights working at Freddy's. In fact, he was even one of the animatronics, believe it or not. That's right. Sticking to what he does best. He managed to somehow con those animatronics. But time has passed here. And now, Rolf kind of thinks that it might be safe to go back to the cul-de-sac now. Time has passed. People forget about certain things that might have taken place. So it might be time to kind of go back. It might be time for us to go home, like Plank did. And that's our next song, Home, like Plank did.
Wow, I can't believe it. Double D actually left.
Well, of course he did, Ed boy. You're a very annoying man.
Now what the hell are we gonna do? Are we gonna stay here in the cul-de-sac?
Oh, no, we are not, Ed boy.
Then what are we gonna do?
Well, we're both going home like Plank did. We are both going home like Plank did. We are both going home like Plank did. Yeah, we are both going home like Plank did. Coming out races, but you know that I'm going places, so you cannot try to erase the past. Painting the cul-de-sac, you ass. Eddy, you were never ready to make the spaghetti, so just sprinkle some of that confetti on your teddy. This is a proverb, and some may have not heard the words and the sayings of a son of a shepherd. But you can consider this something to add to the list. Everything that I'm saying will lead your life into bliss. Cause we are both going home like Plank did. 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 That's right. We are both going home like Plank did. We are both going home like Plank did. We are both going home like Plank did. We are both going home like Plank did.
Wish I could say the same, but things are just not the same. I'm trying not to complain, but Eddy's to blame. He took my friend and he put it to an end. This friendship we have, I'm trying to mend. But Eddy and Eddy, they just will not bend, so we're losing our bins and we lost all our ends. There's no going home like Plank did. There's no going home like Plank did. There's no going home like Plank did. There's not going home like Plank did. Oh, well, what are we gonna do?
Well, don't worry, Ed boy. When one door closes, another one opens. And that's when you know there are many doors. We'll find a place soon.
Now let's shift gears back on over to Double D. Double D has finally made it to the home, Foster's home of imaginary friends, delivering Plank to his new family. But this is unfamiliar territory for our boy Double D. He doesn't know anything about this type of world. The only imaginary friend he's ever had to deal with was Plank. He's never seen them actually come to life. And he gets there and he's greeted by Blue. Blue, who is an imaginary friend who unfortunately was abandoned by his owner. So for some strange reason, Blue really takes a liking to Double D because he reminds him of his previous owner. And this leads us to imaginary friends.
It's hot and toe picker. I'm a toe picker. I'm a hot toe picker.
CC on the track,
The
boy.
directions of my convection will soon lead to devastation. My relation to causation brought me so much aggravation. But you know that is cause and effect. A plank of wood I protect. I'm sitting back to reflect. My life. Was I really living it right? My wife, she was good, but was that pussy really tight? I might just leave this plank of wood in Blue's hands. He is a good man. Now what's the game plan? Yeah, Blue, we traveled so far just to see ya. And I don't know if it's really hotter in Topeka. Here I am inside a home pretending I have friends. We gonna see the story through until the final end. Everything. Know what you want to discover here. Let me make this clear. I'm not a volunteer. If you want me to help you out, I'll show you what it's about. That piece of wood you're holding is a wooden sellout. See? He was here, then he left, disappeared, made a theft, made it clear, did some math. I lost math, want him back. I don't know where to go. Damn it, Cheese, you're a hoe. Now let me show you where you really should go. Yo, Topeka is the place we need to be. At least that's what they said when I was watching the TV. We need to find Mac. I might just have a heart attack. Now get back before I take that plank and give you a whack. Everything you see is imaginary. You just got to believe. Everything you see is imaginary. You just got to believe.
Now Rolf is back in the cul-de-sac at this point, living his life on his. He has acres of land. He's got numerous farm animals now. Where is Eddy? He doesn't know. Where is Ed? He has no idea. Where's May? He doesn't know. Where's Double D? He has no clue. Or does he? Because you see, the only person in this story that is the voice of reason in actuality, is our boy Rolf. He knows what's going on. And now that he's back in the cul-de-sac, he's able to kind of give his perspective on everything that has taken place up to this point. Which leads us to Where Did All the Love Go? Part 2. A summary of what has happened up to this point through the eyes of Rolf.
Last night,
Out of this fruit of the earth, then peel it as if it were the last task of your miserable life.
Never again will Rolf store house keys in his trouser holes.
Where did all the love go and where did all the ends go? menso. Eddy's what they're menso. Followed in they follow, traveling and they follow. I pity then I wallow, the truth I cannot swallow. Johnny almost died, so packed up and went to Fasto. And I ain't San Francisco, imaginary friendo. Singing with that blue hole, you really didn't think so. He's taking plenty mean so, sipping on that lean so. Johnny isn't clean so, you know he going back though. Where did all the love go, and where did all the aims go? He left them in the bin so, popping perks and some benzo. Who did Eddy shoot though? We ain't seen burritos. Bakers they were 3 hoes, down to 2 cows of needle. Closing all the doors, another one will soon be open. And this is just the life of a shepherd.
Have you seen this no-neck chump?
The snake in the grass head boy is missing.
Yup. If you see him, blind him with duct tape, as he does not play well with others and has been known to dribble.
Is this so?
Have you seen my Eddy?
Well, I never. Of all the no good last night.
Now, at least 1 year has passed, and, well, it's kind of crazy. Something has brought the Edd boys back to the cul-de-sac. They're coming back, believe it or not. You never thought you'd ever see them coming back together. All with their own reasons as to why they've come back. And of course, after rehabilitating Johnny in the hospital, and of course, in quotes, rehabilitating Plank at Foster's, Blue, told Double D that it might be time for him to actually return to his owner. Might be time for Plank to return to his owner. It's the only way for both of them, both Plank and Johnny, to fully heal. Now that Johnny has fully recovered from his sickness, he's fully recovered thanks to Jimmy being there for him, being the only friend in the cul-de-sac there to kind of help him out. Because after all, Johnny was probably Jimmy's best customer in the cul-de-sac when it came to those drugs. But let's that's a story for another day, or this day, just later on in this timeline. So this brings us to Love Is All We Need, which sees the return of all 3 Edd boys coming right back to the cul-de-sac. Love is all we need.
Oh, Edd boys, it has been far too long. I'm so happy you all have decided to come back. So much has changed over the years, Edd boys. I've got a beard with a plan to call my own. And now I shall shepherd you all much like my father did to me, and make sure you all remain on the right track. I may have never said this in the past, Edd boys, when we were kids, but I love you. Don't be weird. Well, I do, snake in the grass, Edd boy. I love you all like you are my children that I never had. Everything you see is just love is all we need.
Edd boys.
Everything that is just love is all we need.
Edd boys.
Rolf is here, you see. The shepherd you will take heed.
Edd boys.
Seed my plants and feed while we smoke some dank ass weed. Oh, you get high before we go. Will you say bye before we go? Rolf don't know what to do, so I'm going to sing to you.
Edd boys.
Celebrate bar mitzvah, spin the dreidel like the Jew.
Edd boys.
Milk the cow and eat it while the cow is going moo.
Edd boys.
Eat some honey and bees like we're Winnie the Pooh.
Edd boys.
What the heck is going on? My brother's death. I have to mourn.
Everything you see is just love is all we need.
Edd boys.
Everything that is just love is all we need. Rolf is here, you see. The shepherd you will take heed. Seed my plants and feed while we smoke some dank ass weed. Yeah.
Can I rap? I want to rap. Let me rap. I want to rap. Let me 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 rap. Undertow.
actually good to be back. I think we're gonna have a great time.
Tell me about it. A great time.
Yeah, eating butter toast!
Everyone's back in the cul-de-sac at this particular point now. And you're probably wondering, weren't the Ed boys, I guess, could you say that they were kind of wanted for a moment there in the past? Well, they were. Again, there was a crime that did take place in the cul-de-sac. They weren't necessarily wanted, but there was a crime. And, well, Eddy might have gotten everyone in a bit of trouble. Eddy might have said some things that he probably shouldn't have said to some people, which led to a lot of people getting into trouble. So you see, there were 3 assailants. Now, naturally, people would assume in this particular crime, people would assume that three accomplices, three criminals that took place in this particular crime that occurred. Well, Ed, and Eddy. It's 3 of them, right? Well, maybe not. You see, there were 3 people that were arrested for this crime, or under suspicion of this crime, but kept in prison under false pretenses. Other pretenses, not even necessarily false pretenses, but pretenses nonetheless. And those 3 people that found themselves in prison due to something, potentially due to something that Eddy did, was Rolf, Double D, and Jimmy. They find themselves in prison. They're doing some hard time. Potentially some hard time. Now, Jimmy's gonna be fine. Jimmy, he's been in and out of the jail, the court system numerous times, so he's just making a visit. But Rolf and Double D have never been in prison ever before. This is their first time. And so we take you to hard time.
Oh, Rolf! Do you really think Ed's gonna come through? Because I don't think I'm gonna survive in here. Oh, Ed boy, you do not need to worry. No one's going to mess with this son of a shepherd. Damn it, Eddy. What have you got us into? Oh, Ed boy, don't worry. We'll be all right. Just look on the brighter side. At least Blake went home. Oh, shut up.
The story of Ed and Eddy, not really sure that you're ready. I'm just throwing up the facts, but some things I am forgetting. I can't stand the facts, and then he bled red, now we're sleeping in bunk beds. So call him the sleeper man. You know it's my sleeper man, and I'm not the sleeper man. It comes from deeper man. I can't with this stable plan. Just hold his hand to get him to the end and win the broke friend.
We got this, yeah. Just hold on, cautious. Oh, I'm sure that Ed and Eddy are coming, so you should get ready. So finish up your pasta and stop eating the spaghetti. We got this. Oh, just hold on, cautious. Yeah, I'm sure that Ed and Eddy are coming, so you should get ready. So finish up your pasta and stop eating the spaghetti.
Look at my mind, I'm out of my mind. I'm going through ends, I'm losing my mind. She's traveling times, I'm looking sublime, regretting the times, committing those crimes. Now look at my fines, I'm paying my fines. Now how many times you waited in lines? You drinking the wines, I'm solving the wine, and hoping and pining that you are signing.
We got this, yeah. Just hold on, cautious. Oh, I'm sure that Ed and Eddy are coming, so you should get ready. So finish up your pasta and stop eating the spaghetti. We got this. Oh, just hold on, cautious. Yeah, I'm sure that Ed and Eddy are coming, so you should get ready. So finish up your pasta and stop eating the spaghetti.
I'm telling you, we're gonna be in here forever. They're never coming back. Oh, don't talk like that. I'll be sure that Ed is coming to save us. I don't know what about this last Ed boy, but at least Ed will be here. Yeah, we'll see.
So why did all this occur? I know some of you guys are probably wondering, why did all this occur? Well, rumors have been spreading around the cul-de-sac that this was ultimately all over some jawbreakers. Now, I don't know how many of you might remember, there was an episode of Ed, Edd, and Eddy where Kevin had an entire garage full of jawbreakers because his dad, I believe he worked at a jawbreaker factory. So Kevin had an entire garage full of jawbreakers. So, obviously, Eddy wants to go to the source. And everyone just assumes, well, the Ed boys were obsessed with these jawbreakers, and it seemed like they would do anything when they were kids to get their hands on jawbreakers, to get their hands on money to purchase jawbreakers. And so they think they might know what this is all over, but they might be wrong. They might just be wrong. But this does lead us to the next song, Jawbreakers, featuring Johnny 2x4, Jimmy, and Double D.
Life has many doors, Ed boys. Don't let the excitement spoil your grammar, Eddie.
Look around us. We've gotta be rich.
Everything's broken. Fix it now.
Shut your mouth, Sarah.
Can you guess what I'm doing?
Get off my foot, Ed.
I left the cul-de-sac to go back and backtrack. The megalomaniac that was whack. Johnny think that he black. Jimmy be selling crack. Kevin is out of hat. And Eddie, he is a rat. The life that I was living, yeah, it was good. Chilling and kicking it with a little piece of wood. But no one knew it would be misunderstood and kill my livelihood. This I spent from childhood. We were selling a dream that would lead to jawbreakers and strippers and booty shakers and kicking it with the Lakers. But Kevin, he was the maker of this whole thing. Like Martin King, he had a dream and had to sing. So sing, sing, yeah, birdie, and tell me now what's the wordie? My girl, she's okay. You know I love May, but I miss her every day. We had to part ways. I'm coming back to see you, and I'm hoping it's today.
It's all because you want a jawbreaker. Now you become a lawbreaker. It's all because you want a jawbreaker. Now you become a lawbreaker.
Okay, I get it now. But you won't admit it now. I figured you did it now. So double dick come around and try not to make a sound. That time you be hanging around, I'm sure he went underground. See, y'all know I went through it all. For Kevin, I did it all. Big Pimpin', you know a ball. And know I went through it all. So Eddie, give me a call and stop drinking alcohol. You near the wall. Call.
It's all because you want a jawbreaker. Now you become a lawbreaker. It's all because you want a jawbreaker. Now you become a lawbreaker.
Now, here's where things kind of get a little bit strange in the story, if this wasn't strange to begin with. Now, Rolf and Double D are in a certain state of mind. Everyone is in a certain state of mind at this particular point, and this leads us to Where Did All the Love Go? The lo-fi remix, where more of the story is pretty much explained. And we have Double D explaining the story thus far and actually talking about the things that he did in the past that he wished he didn't do and what led to the actions that he committed, that he wishes he could turn back time and change. And there might be an opportunity for him to turn back time and change the outcome of everything. There was once a super secret crisis war that took place when the Ed boys were kids. This is actual canon. There was an actual comic by IDW Publishing, which featured the Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Johnny Bravo, the Ed Boys, Dexter, Mandark, Aku. All of these Cartoon Network characters clashed, and their worlds all collided. So there was a rift in the space-time continuum. But that happened when they were kids. I'm not here to kind of summarize that particular story for you or to explain that particular story to you. Again, the comics actually exist. It's called the Super Secret Crisis War. And it features all these cartoon characters from CN City. A canonical comic. Now this happened when they were kids. And now it's as if Double D is sensing something like this might be approaching again soon. Because something has been off this entire time. But what has caused all these actions to take place? Well, let's listen to Double D as he explains these things in Where Did All the Love Go? The Lo-Fi Remix.
I shoulda never took that piece of wood. It did good and took me from the hood like it should. My manhood, Johnny misunderstood. He ain't good, lost his life. Kevin stabbed with a knife, wasn't nice. I'm alright. Sarah, she took her life, killed my wife, wasn't right. How can I stop this madness? Yeah, how can I stop this madness? Oh. Now where did the love go? And where did the hood go? I don't know. But where did the keys go? Locked up in the benzo. I don't know. Now Eddie acting like he lost my bail. Never fails. I need a special delivery like it was my mail. Rolf be asking where the love go. He don't even know. He be pimping them cankers like they were his hoes. I need to find a way home now to rub him down. I think he lost his soul. He left it in the lost and found. Where did all the love go? Yeah. Dealing with the madness. Yeah. Where did madness love go? Dealing with the madness. Where did all the love go? Dealing with the madness. Dealing with the madness. Where did our love go? Dealing with the madness. I need to find my way to Jesus if I want some peace. I might have to rent my house out if I want that lease. I really hope I get some money from that Mr. Beast. I'ma buy a bunch of jawbreakers and have a feast. If you wanna release me now from this hell, I gladly take them handcuffs and go to jail. Dealing with the madness, yeah. Dealing with the madness, yeah. Yeah, dealing with the madness. I go, yeah, dealing with the madness, yeah. I go, yeah, dealing with the madness. I go, yeah, dealing with the madness. So where did the love go? And where did the ends go? I don't know. They up in the benzo, right next to the ends though. I don't know. I'm thinking Eddie took it on her just to make me mad. I think he sold it to a man named Johnny. He was bad. He was hanging with a ninja who was washing clothes up in the laundromat. They open, nah, they are closed. It was a crisis where we fought when we was just some kids. It was an evildoer trying to stop what we did. It was a big dude. I said, my guy, who are you? He turned around and said, my guy, bruh, I'm cool. It was crazy. We don't wanna fight inside this war. I don't wanna see some bloodshed and some gore. Dealing with the madness, yeah. Dealing with the, dealing with the madness. I go, yeah, dealing with it, yeah, dealing with the madness. I go, dealing with the madness. I go, yeah.
And there you have it, guys. I think we're all caught up. That's the story so far. Now, this is only the beginning, guys. There's so much more I want to show you guys through the imagery, through the words in the songs. There's so much more I will show you. This is just the beginning, and things kind of get a little bit more insane and intense and grounded in these characters. There might be other characters that cross over. You know, Blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, he has his own story to tell too. Where's his owner? What happened to Mac? What happened to Cheese? There's a lot to this story. There's a lot of different layers that involve a lot of different characters. Even Samurai Jack and Johnny Bravo might be a part of this particular story. But, you know what? I don't want to give too much away just yet. What I do want to say is I want to thank you guys for actually watching up to this point. And again, if you want to see and hear more of these songs, I really encourage you to become a member. Just click that join button. Sign up for any of the levels that you see listed there. The higher the level, the more exclusive content you will receive, and the more exclusive information you'll probably receive about these upcoming rap songs that I will be continuing to create. That's right, guys. This is just the beginning. And again, with your help, I'll be able to continue to release these songs onto the world. And I'm hoping that you guys might actually join. I really do. And hopefully you enjoyed this explainer video of all these songs that I put out there. Thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time.